したらとんでもないことになるって。
During the Pacific War, Japanese ninjas were not just myths or whispers in the dark. They were the most feared enemies the Allies had ever faced. In one covert mission, General MacArthur was nearly assassinated. His survival was only possible thanks to a rogue faction of pro-American ninjas who chose to defect. The near death of the Allied commander sparked immediate retaliation. MacArthur demanded that the Japanese government hand over a complete list of ninja operatives and dissolve the organization entirely. Japan complied. Every operation was shut down, records were erased, and the ninja order faded into obscurity. They were declared extinct. But now, 70 years later, the world is once again spiraling into chaos. Religious wars, ethnic violence, and terrorism dominate the headlines. Amid this unrest, a corpse surfaces, covered in wounds no modern weapon could explain. The attack pattern leaves no doubt that it was a ninja kill. A top-secret investigation begins. What they uncover reveals that elite ninjas are not gone. They have adapted, hiding in plain sight while carrying out assassinations and sabotage across multiple nations. Intelligence estimates reveal there are still around 200,000 ninjas worldwide, with nearly 90% hidden in Japan. Many blend into society, living as ordinary civilians. One such ninja is connected to a quiet suburban home. Yoshida, a novelist, tries to pitch a new story idea to Suzuki, a publishing editor. But this meeting is more than literary. Suzuki has direct ties to the underground ninja network. Yoshida's manuscript is rejected again. Suzuki tells him the work still needs rewriting. She has another story in reserve but never gets to present it. Before he can respond, Suzuki receives a coded message from her superior. The order is urgent. She must move to the Naruma district and intercept a foreign ninja who has breached Japanese soil. She offers no explanation. Moments later she disappears, leaving Yoshida alone and unaware that his world is about to change. Suzuki arrives at the target location and spots her mark immediately. The foreign ninja breaks into a run, and Suzuki gives chase. The pursuit quickly turns when he suddenly counters, forcing her into a brutal hand-to-hand fight. Watching from a distance, Kato, a mid-level ninja supervisor, observes alongside his assistant Azu. Neither makes a move to intervene. This fight is a field test designed to measure whether Suzuki is ready for a more dangerous assignment. On the ground, Suzuki struggles. Her opponent is not only fast but highly skilled. Even a direct hit from her stun gun barely slows him down. He recovers instantly and pushes her back, gaining the upper hand. As the battle intensifies, Suzuki finds herself cornered. The enemy draws a custom ninja firearm and prepares to shoot. Suzuki has no options left. In that critical moment, a lower-ranking ninja named Kuro steps in. With one clean strike, he takes down the attacker before anyone can react. Without waiting for thanks or recognition, Kuro turns and disappears. Mission done, no questions asked. With that, the story of Under Ninja begins. Kuro is a low-level operative with no assignments and no real direction. He spends most of his time lying around in a cramped room, firing toothpicks at the ceiling, lost in boredom. That changes when Kato arrives with a mission. He hands Kuro a large box and warns him about the current state of the ninja world. Many agents are being cut loose. Some have even gone rogue, fleeing the main organization, NIN. Kato makes it clear that anyone who runs will be hunted down. Kuro is tasked with a classified operation. He must infiltrate a breakaway group known as UON, a ninja faction that split from NIN after the war and has been operating underground ever since. To blend in, Kuro will pose as a student at Coden High School. Kato has already arranged the entrance exam and provided all the tools to maintain the disguise. Suddenly, a toothpick drops from the ceiling and Kuro instinctively catches it. Kato misreads the move as an attack, sparking a brief moment of tension. It passes quickly, and Kato leaves, leaving Kuro alone in silence. Kuro opens the mission box. Inside is a school uniform and a black tactical jacket, but this is no ordinary gear. The jacket is equipped with camouflage technology and can withstand blades and bullets. The mission has begun. The next morning, Kuro arrives at Coden High School in Naruma. This marks the beginning of his deep cover mission as a student. He stands quietly by the front gate until Ayaka Kaneguchi, a sharp-tongued student, scolds him for blocking the entrance. They exchange words, arguing over Kuro's thick jacket and their family names. Before things escalate, Mr. Shinobu, one of the teachers, interrupts and tells them to head inside. Kuro scans the classroom for a seat and chooses the one next to Ayaka. She assumes he is interested in her, but Kuro's choice is tactical. Kato had previously hidden the answer sheet there. The entrance exam begins. For Kuro, it is a crucial step in maintaining his cover. Ayaka, although a senior, is retaking the test after an earlier absence. As they prepare, Kuro activates a covert technique. Using color-coded rice grains scattered on the floor, he reads the encoded answers, a skill learned from his nin training. Everything goes smoothly until Ayaka notices the grains and screams. Her reaction draws Mr. Shinobu. Thinking quickly, Kuro claims the grains are eggs from a deadly insect. Shinobu panics and sends Ayaka to fetch a broom. While she is gone, Kuro drops an eraser and creates a small diversion by brushing against Ayaka's back. The distraction works, but when Shinobu returns, he accidentally steps on some of the rice. Kuro quickly destroys the remaining evidence, then uses an extreme ninja trick to fake an embarrassing accident. He cries and claims panic to avoid suspicion. Shinobu, now concerned, takes Kuro to the restroom. Meanwhile, Ayaka is left to mop the floor. With the test complete and his identity still secure, Kuro passes the first stage of his mission. Later that day, Kuro asks Ayaka to walk home with him and make a quick stop. She hesitates, uncomfortable with visiting a boy's house, but curiosity wins. To her surprise, he leads her to the rooftop rather than his room. There, Ayaka shares stories about the school, including the tale of Aita, a student bullied after filming in the girls' restroom. She also mentions that the school was once a military facility with a hidden basement in the nearby forest, and a strange school supervisor who has not aged in 2 decades. As the sun sets, Ayaka prepares to leave. While stepping across a weak roof tile, she slips and falls. Kuro reacts instantly, leaping to catch her. His jacket's airbag deploys midair, saving her. Ayaka passes out from shock. Without hesitation, Kuro carries her home. The next morning, Kuro finds his housemate Ono, wearing their neighbor Kawato's bra. When asked, Ono says he found it floating days ago and thought it was a ghost. Kuro suspects a prank involving drones and tells Ono to quit wearing it. That night, Kuro sets a trap using the stolen bra as bait, and the plan works. A young man appears but is immediately taken down by a stun baton. It turns out to be Aita, the same student Ayaka had mentioned earlier. Aita pretends to pass out, but when he learns that Kuro is friends with Ayaka, he gets back up. Kuro tells him he already knows about the bullying. Kuro urges Aita to return to school. He explains that Ayaka has told him everything and promises that from now on, Aita will have someone watching his back. After all, Kuro will officially begin his undercover life as a student at Coden High. Elsewhere that morning, a young man runs through the streets, dodging attacks from a ninja-style shuriken launcher. Just before the weapon reaches him, a figure in a camouflaged suit intercepts it midair. He warns that ninjas who defect from nin have only one choice: join under ninja or be hunted down. The young man, named Saruta, refuses. He says he is not running to survive, but to push himself to the limit. He wants no part in the war between nin and uwon. If he dies today, so be it. Meanwhile, Yoshida is at home, still struggling to write his book. After his historical fiction failed to sell, he has shifted to speculative fiction. He lies in bed, longing for the days when his writing truly mattered. The scene shifts to a flashback. Years ago, as Yoshida prepared to sleep, a ninja broke into his room and held a katana to his neck. Instead of killing him, the ninja told a story. It was about 7 ninjas who fought 200 soldiers at an embassy, and he was one of the 7. That ninja, Amain, asked Yoshida to turn the story into a novel. The book became a hit, and Yoshida gained fame overnight. Since then, ninjas have come to him regularly, sharing their stories, each more unbelievable than the last. From a serial killer hunter to a street fighter who won the Air Max challenge, even a female ninja bent on wiping out all other ninjas, Yoshida listens, records, and turns their lives into fiction. The next day, Kuro heads out with Aita, but first stops by Ayaka's house. He wants them to walk to school together. Ayaka is surprised to see Aita again, this time looking more confident. Aita seems uneasy seeing Ayaka with Kuro. On their way, Ayaka brings up the infamous bathroom incident. Ita calmly explains that he was trying to reveal a hidden listening device, but before he could report it, he was blamed for recording instead. Kuro takes note, growing suspicious of a larger scheme. When they arrive at school on Kuro's first official day, he introduces himself. As Ita walks to his seat, Azuma sticks out his foot to trip him. Kuro casually shifts Ita's leg, making him step on Azuma's foot instead. The class is stunned, and even Yamada looks impressed. Kuro takes his seat and realizes the girl next to him is Sato, someone with a family name he has long admired. Ayaka notices their interaction and looks jealous. The moment is cut short when a red laser appears on Kuro's forehead, aimed from a small doll in the room. Without hesitation and ignoring the teacher's reaction, Kuro leaves the classroom. Outside the classroom, Kuro runs into Haya, a fellow low-rank ninja who had secretly witnessed the earlier rooftop fight. Haya explains that the bridge incident was actually his mission, but Kuro unknowingly stepped in and completed it. As they talk, a school supervisor who is also a ninja watches from a distance without interfering. Haya casually shows off his skills by guessing the exact amount of money in Kuro's pocket just by the sound it makes. Kuro is impressed, but their conversation ends abruptly. Haya warns Kuro that Ita is currently with Yamada, who is using him to carry her box. Sensing trouble, Kuro springs into action. Using his camouflage jacket, he drops from the building unseen. However, Sato happens to be nearby and snaps a photo of his disappearing act. Meanwhile, Ita walks into a trap. Yamada leads him behind the school and then vanishes, leaving him alone with Azuma and Nohechi. The bullying starts again. Kuro intervenes. Wearing a cardboard box as a disguise and blending in with his invisibility tech, he steps in. Azuma's attacks have no effect. Nohechi tries to use Ita as a shield but fails. Kuro quickly neutralizes both without breaking a sweat. Later, Kuro reaches the school supervisor's office. There, he is met by Awanuma, a senior ninja who immediately draws his katana. Kuro calmly warns him to stand down. The moment Awanuma hears the name Tun, he freezes. Tun is a top-tier tracking and weapon system controlled by the Nin organization. It can lock onto ninja targets from long range with deadly precision. Awanuma lowers his sword. Kuro leaves, still stunned that someone at his level could activate such a weapon. But just as he walks away, something else unsettles him. In the distance, Yamada watches with a mysterious smile. Elsewhere, at a small convenience store, a transparent ninja from the Uwon faction strikes. He hurls a shuriken at the store clerk, who blocks it with her katana, but he is too fast. He appears in front of her and delivers a fatal blow. Word of the clerk's death, a confirmed Nin operative, reaches Suzuki. Before she can react, the same transparent ninja attacks her. Suzuki is shocked to see the enemy wearing a full-body invisibility jacket, technology outlawed by both the Ninja Council and the government. Suzuki draws her stun baton and prepares for a fight. Then, Sato walks in. Her arrival gives the Uwon ninja leverage. He grabs her as a hostage, threatening to kill them both. Seeing Sato in danger, Suzuki drops her weapon and pleads. The Uwon ninja hesitates. Something in Suzuki's voice triggers a memory, a time when he loved her. That memory stops the attack. The assailant vanishes but not before warning that Sato will not die today, though her time will come at Coden High School. Meanwhile, back at Coden High, Nohechi storms in and headbutts Ita without warning, then demands that he come along. Ita, expecting another beating, panics. Instead, Nohechi drops to his knees and begs to meet Kuro. In his eyes, Kuro represents the key to his dream of becoming the school's top bully. Kuro soon arrives, and Nohechi makes his request. He wants to challenge Simon Saburo, the legendary delinquent rumored to be hiding in the school's basement. Nohechi got the lead from Yamada earlier that morning. At first, Kuro ignores it, but when he hears the name Saburo, everything changes. It is one of the rarest Japanese surnames, and Kuro is obsessed with rare names. He decides to take the challenge. That night, Kuro meets with Kato to get permission for the basement infiltration. Kato approves but warns him that the number of transparent ninjas is growing, and full-body invisibility has been officially banned by both the government and the Ninja Association. Kato knows the situation at Coden High is spiraling out of control. He wants to avoid casualties on school grounds, so he deploys Suzuki to back Kuro up. Later that night, Ayaka is startled when Kuro suddenly appears in her room. His eyes emerge first from the darkness. He calmly asks her not to scream and warns her not to come to school the next day. Before leaving, he gives her a cryptic line: "Tomorrow, the school will disappear." The next morning, Kuro's warning comes true. As Azuma walks through the school gates, a Yuan ninja strikes. Azuma is beheaded on the spot, and the assault begins. The attacker's mission is clear: to wipe out everyone at Coden High. Ayaka ignores the warning and still shows up. As chaos unfolds, she searches for answers and crosses paths with Awanuma, the senior ninja and supervisor. She tells him about Kuro's warning. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Awanuma gives her a mysterious item to deliver to Kuro if they meet again. At the Nin Communication Center, Azu reports the breach and issues orders. Suzuki and Hachiya are placed on high alert, as Uwan ninjas could strike again at any moment. Meanwhile, Kuro reaches the entrance to the underground base with Nohechi and Aita but goes in alone, leaving them to wait above. Inside the school, students scream as Azuma's headless body is dragged into the classroom. Uwan ninjas flood the halls, beginning a ruthless massacre. The school quickly becomes a war zone. Outside, Ayaka stands frozen, overwhelmed by the violence. Suzuki moves through the corridors, alert and scanning the area. The principal's voice echoes through the loudspeakers. Awanuma orders all students to stay in their rooms and sends coded signals to Suzuki and Hachiya to prepare for the next wave. But the Uwan ninjas are already cutting down anyone they find in the halls. Suzuki presses forward, unaware that one of them has him in sight. It is Saruta, his former classmate and once close friend. Their friendship has twisted into hatred. Saruta felt ignored and abandoned, and now he seeks revenge. Saruta attacks while Suzuki is caught off guard, delivering a deep cut to his Achilles tendon. Suzuki falls, cornered and seconds from death. Just before Saruta can finish him, Kato arrives. As a mid-rank ninja, he quickly takes control. Even when Saruta activates his invisibility, Kato counters by spraying him with a special liquid that makes him visible again, forcing him to retreat. Saruta escapes successfully, but Kato walks away with valuable intel. Thankfully, his smart glasses have recorded everything, footage that could reveal exactly what they are up against. Meanwhile, Ayaka wastes no time. As soon as she finds Aita, she demands to know where Kuro is. Aita tells her that Kuro is deep inside the basement of Makoden village. Without hesitation, Ayaka heads there. At the same time, Kuro pushes further into the underground levels of Coden High. There he runs into Yamada, a female ninja from the Uwan group who had been hiding in plain sight as a student all along. Back on the surface, Saruta walks through the corridors with a clear objective. Suzuki was never the real target. Saruta is after Hachiya, the grandson of Terra, one of the 7 legendary ninja commanders. When the fight begins, Hachiya almost locks Saruta using Tun technology. Just before the device activates, Saruta breaks free and turns the fight around. In the basement, Kuro starts the battle with a mini-explosive, but Yamada avoids it with ease. She is not only skilled but also fast and unfazed. Despite Kuro's constant attacks, she keeps smiling. To her, Kuro still isn't good enough. Elsewhere, Sato and Aita rush Suzuki to the gym. Following Awanuma's instructions over comms, they find a hidden door. It leads to an old military facility that now serves as the core of the under-ninja base. Inside, Suzuki reveals that this place was once a counterfeit money factory used by Ninja Uwan. Thousands of women and children were forced to work there and were later killed, all to fund Uwan's global operations. Deep underground, Kuro and Yamada's fight intensifies. When Kuro begins to lose ground, Yamada taunts him, urging him to activate Tun. She knows it is his only chance at survival. Kuro refuses. He understands that using Tun will expose its coordinates, giving Ninja Uwan access to Nin's satellite network. That would be catastrophic. If the satellite falls, Earth's entire defense system could collapse. Yamada grins. That was their plan all along, and Kuro just confirmed it. Suddenly, a small rocket lands nearby, delivering Yamada an orbital forged katana to boost her strength. Meanwhile, in space, the plan is already in motion. One of the UA ninjas breaches a NIN satellite. The data leak began during the fight between Saruta and Hachiya. Realizing the severity, Kato contacts Azu and issues a global alert to every ninja cell on Earth. The invasion has begun. On the school roof, Hachiya charges straight at Saruta, going all in. But it turns out to be a trap. Saruta's jacket offers only partial camouflage, and he is already behind Hachiya, ready to strike. Hachiya is seconds from death when Kato intervenes, driving a katana into Saruta and saving him at the last moment. Deep in the basement, Ayaka finally catches up to Kuro. She delivers the object Awanuma entrusted to her, a summoning ring linked directly to Nin's aerial drone network. Within seconds, Kuro's specialized katana drops from the sky and lands right in front of him. With the weapon in hand, Kuro launches a counterattack on Yamada, but his first strike never lands. It is only a mental simulation, a calculated strategy that fails before it even begins. He runs through every possible outcome in his mind, but none lead to victory. With no options left, Kuro commits to one final move. He knows the cost. It will end his life as well. As the dust settles, a dying Yamada reveals that Ninja Uwan's true purpose was never about Kuro. Their goal was to erase Coden High and expose the twisted history that the NIN organization buried long ago. With her final breath, Yamada falls. Meanwhile, critically injured, Kuro begs Ayaka to leave him behind. She refuses and tries to drag him out of the wreckage, determined to save him. Back at NIN headquarters, the 7 legendary commanders receive the worst possible news. Ninja Uwan has infiltrated the Tun satellite. Their next move is to use its orbital laser to wipe Coden High off the map. The commanders panic and issue a command to shut down the satellite, but the order comes too late. The laser fires, and the school is obliterated. In the end, only Ayaka makes it out alive. Kuro is lost in the rubble and declared missing. Elsewhere, Aita, Suzuki, and Sato escape through an underground tunnel. They emerge to see what remains of the school, nothing but ruins. Not far away, Ayaka limps into view, draped in Kuro's jacket, bloodied and broken. Her tears say it all. She failed to bring him back. News of the destruction spreads quickly. Aita is heartbroken, mourning the only person who ever stood up for him. That night, Ayaka returns to her room, unable to bear watching the reports on TV. But something stops her cold. Inside her room stands a stranger. His face is almost identical to Kuro's, yet strangely, he is not Kuro. His name is Juro. So the moral of the story is never underestimate a bored guy with toothpicks, a tactical jacket, and 0 social skills. He might just save the world, accidentally.